All right, welcome to the show, Dr. O. How does it feel to be Dr. O today?
Feels good. I'm honored to be here. It feels good, I'll be honest. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your medical journey so far.
So I'm a family physician, started out in Jersey, Rutgers University, knew I wanted to be a doctor after figuring out that I didn't want to be a nurse. Do I like the nurse's uniform better? Got into medicine, fell in love with family medicine as a catch-all, see the whole family, get to transform lives transgenerationally. So I did that. I've been doing that now for over 14 years. I'm also lifestyle boarded. 3 years ago, decided to actually started my practice here in Mansfield, Texas, for 3 years, going to 3.5 now. We serve thousands of patients with the culture of care sincerely. I love what I do. Still don't like the administrative stuff and the insurance prep, but we're here. Real estate sounded a little too daunting for me, like something kind of far to reach. You had to have a lot of capital and things like that. But thankfully, I have a brother who's a real estate agent and big on it. He's been telling us, hey, you really should invest in this. And most, when you watch people talk about their financial journey to being a millionaire, 6 figures, 7 figure, 8 figures, and things like that, there's always real estate. So I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Anyway, hubby is very big on, hey, let's invest, let's make our money work for us, not keep it in the bank. And so we decided to, flip a few properties when we moved to Texas. Thankfully, we were able to flip four. But that was before I knew I was going to have a practice. So after that, we decided, well, I'm going to start a practice. But of course, you flip, you report a loss. So all the banks that we were trying to ask for were like, no. But because of relationships we have, we would have people help us with that. And in turn, flip the three, significant return on investment and pay off the loan for the practice.
Oh, wow.
Essentially, yes. So we have one property left and we're looking to grow our portfolio as things start to steady off. When you buy a real estate property, sometimes you don't know what to expect. People estimate like what the costs will be. And the truth is, it costs what it costs. You don't expect to buy a house and just be able to put it on the market. That's the fairy tale version of that. It takes work. You're going to hire people, you're going to hire contractors. You hope you get a good fix, a good person to do the work. Sometimes it turns out well, sometimes it doesn't, but it's a risk. But it's a risk that rewards, but it's a process. And so the process of putting the money out to pay for the things, and I actually enjoyed decorating. So his job was to get the contractors to do the things, and my job was to look through marketplace, maybe have some people help me pick up a few furniture and do the even though that's something you could delegate. But I enjoy that, so that was he was like, well, it's ready for you to decorate. I'll take the picture of the room, and I get to do that. But when we saw the first one, we were able to rent it out and it was paying for itself, it made sense, And one thing my grandma taught me before she passed was, it's not wise to put your money in the bank. And I'm looking at her like, yeah, you're old. What do you know? God forgive me. But she's like, yeah, you want to put your money to work. So what she would do is she would lend it to people, local villagers, who would use it to open businesses, and she would get a cut of it.
Wow.
So the banks are actually using your money to make money.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you use your money to make money? And so that was a mindset shift for me, because I always felt safe with, having the 6 months of, everything in the bank. And, Dave Ramsey, I'm a big fan, but, there's some things you take calculated risks. And so the risk taking was big for me, was a little scary, but the mindset shift preceding that was very helpful. It's growth. Nothing comes easy. That's the truth. And so it's just a matter of meeting with the right people who know what they're doing, who've done it before. My brother was a big help. My husband is financially savvy as well. We talked to people. We looked at the houses and their reports. But the biggest challenge I see was, putting the money and saying, oh, when is this going to be on the market? And the waiting period, I say,
Yeah.
is the tough part, and the dealing with people, and sometimes a few disappointments. But you do meet people who know the ropes and who are able to properly manage for you too. So that's an option. So you don't have to do all the legwork. We know better now.
Yeah.
We'd interview, we would go check if they had a leak, we get a contractor, and oh my God. And it was taking a toll on my husband, and he worked a full-time job. Also, he's the co-founder with me in the practice, the COO. So it was just too much. And so we contemplated selling the last one, but we said, you know what, why don't we rent it out? As a steady income, and we know that it would appreciate in time. So we've kept the last one and we've been renting it out. What we're doing differently now is we have someone who we pay, a property manager who, sends us the bill. We pay every month, and he takes care of all the complaints and the concerns. And then we rented it to it's a Section 8 type program where we know that part of the income comes from the government, because we did have some tenants who didn't do too well when
Hmm.
COVID hit, as far as paying back, and yeah. So at least with the government, we have a steadier portion of it coming in,
Hmm.
and we're looking to maybe expand our portfolio a little bit. We actually also did Airbnb with the house. We're trying to grow our portfolio, but a big, big, big project that's facing us is the business, is the building our own practice from scratch, and there's deadlines to meet, because we want to not have to extend our current lease, and it's next, believe it or not, in 2026, and next year's next month. So
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
that's the next big challenge for us, and we hope to use some of our personal, real estate to help with that and offset some of the costs, and also lower our tax burden too.
Hmm.
And I'm excited as to what that's going to do. But of course, we're going to do it through team and with help, of course, few loans. But
Yes.
that's okay. I like the Airbnb idea. I thought it was fun. But maybe not as quickly a turnover. I like the short term rental idea.
Hmm.
Where people can rent, for a couple months, or and I know,
Midterm.
yes, and I
Yeah.
know some
Midterm.
doctors who are doing that too, and so that has piqued my interest. And then even buying businesses.
Mm.
Not sure we're there yet.
Yeah.
Just speaking that out, in faith. But
Yeah.
maybe in time that would be good. And even my experience as a business owner, if I buy a business and people in there, even teaching them how to run those businesses are also coming as a thought. But that's me, dreaming big.
Hmm.
I want to face this mountain first, but I also want to invest in even like things like ranches, like space, like land,
Hmm.
where people can also build their dream homes. I was in a conversation with someone on a plane, and we got to talking. Showed me his backyard. He has 150 animals.
Oh, wow.
He has three crocodiles. I don't know why you want
What?
one. Not kidding you. Has a giraffe, three or so different animals. Has, I mean, massive ranch in Texas.
Wow.
I mean, he don't need to go anywhere. He can just go to his backyard. He
Yeah.
don't need to travel.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, wow. My mind was just blown at the idea.